Now we come to the awkward part of every show where we try to think of something funny to say right at the very beginning. And go.
The part? As in singular?
It's the Fairly Kick-Ass podcast.
At best.
That was exceptional. What a way to end the last intro of 2025.
I mean, we just like to keep it, straight to the point, no need to go writing a 15-minute script for anything. We'll do that in 2026.
Oh, yeah. In full intros, coming back with a vengeance. We apologize in advance.
2026, restart the bits.
Restart the bits. Let's go. But yeah, this being our last recorded episode of the year, we are going to release another one. I don't remember in which order, but we are going to release one more episode. I think that's going to become before this. So this is probably the last episode that gets published of the year too. But
well, nothing you just said mattered.
Yeah, it's as usually is the case. With myself being Zach, we got Dan, we got Jay, we have a special guest host Dax in the house again, and we're doing our End-of-Year-Stravaganza. We are recounting the year that was 2025.
The excitement in the room is palpable.
Say, don't y'all throw the confetti all at once. At least, let's space it out over the next, hour.
I don't have an air horn effect, otherwise I'd use it.
Hold on.
Ooh, soundboard coming in.
Nope. That's not it.
That is not an air horn, sir.
Americans, right?
Just keep pushing buttons. You'll find something that works.
Make it the whole episode. I'm here for it.
Hold on. I don't know what this one is.
Ding, ding, ding. No, that's an air horn. That's an air horn. I found it.
I feel like a 1980s morning show host.
No universe in which any of this is getting cut. I am certain of it.
Nope, not at all. Which gives us an opportunity to transfer tonight to a wacky phone scam. Thank you.
This podcast has become old man plays with flawed technology.
I am so cooked right now.
Well, it's been a fun year, guys, but I think we'll do this again next year.
Well done. We're all winners.
Nope.
So with all those shenanigans out of the way, at least for the moment, let's talk about what we're going to talk about, which is our year in review of 2025. We've done this a number of different ways throughout the years. This year, we're going to approach it in more of an award show fashion, I think, providing our nominees, so to speak, for different categories that we have predetermined. We're not going full bore on like the Grammys that have like 100 categories. We're not doing that. You don't want to listen to it. It'd be a 20-hour show. Instead, we're picking what we feel are our 4 biggest categories of the year.
For all you know, our Grammy Awards could be Pip farting on a snare drum.
I ain't farting on no snare drum.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to watch that movie one day.
You really do. You really do.
Before that time comes, we are doing Song of the Year. We are doing Album of the Year, which is like the thing that has all of the songs on it. Record of the Year be damned. That's not us. Some other folks can cover that one. It doesn't even make sense. We are doing Artist of the Year, full stop. And then we are also doing the Best New Artist of the Year. There's nothing that says that the same Artist of the Year can't also be the New Artist of the Year. I don't know if that happened for any of the 4 of us, but we'll find out together. AKA manufactured suspense.
This would be a great time for if you have the button that goes dun dun dun.
Ooh,
nope.
Damn.
Well, I can make the sound effect. Dun dun dun.
There it is.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah, Dax. Does anyone have any category that they would like to start with particularly? Otherwise, I would say let's go with the album first.
All right.
That sounds good to me.
We'll go in a round. We'll share our choice, our nominee, quote unquote. Yeah, we'll say a few words about it, and we'll go on to the next category from there after we chit chat. Dax, with you being our special guest host, I would say let's start with you. What was your album of the year of 2025 and why?
So my album of the year is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Four Walls, strictly because there was no set genre whatsoever. There was rock, there was hip hop, there was some pop in there was jazz at some point. It was kind of all over the place, and I love all over the place. So that's why I picked that as my number one album.
Very nice. Yeah, we had a lot of that this year. I feel like a lot of, I don't want to say genre. I don't know, genre bending feels so like cliche as a term that just is like overused. I feel like in musical journalism, but folks that just don't stay within like a certain box. And I think that's been a really cool hallmark to see with a lot of different acts this year.
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't know this record in particular, not the whole album. I think there's been a few songs that have come across my plate, but I feel like what you said, like that particular thing has been the thing I've looked forward to most. And it almost feels like straightforward albums don't make the cut right now because they don't do some of that like existential genre reckoning.
I like that. Existential genre reckoning. That's good.
Well, and they keep coming back to this concept because it's the episode we've been talking about like doing for like 3 years and haven't actually sat down to do it, but talking about the concept of genre and how useless it is. And I think this year probably is really, really like the best display of that because, and I'm sure we'll all talk about it, like the top records, the top song, the top artists don't fall into one where you're like, yeah, he's a rock guy or, he's an R&B guy. Like they're all like, it's kind of the peak after the last couple of years, but everything is kind of searching for the words here. At best is a blend of multiple genres.
For sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, Dan, let's pop over to you for your album of the year. Was it in the same vein as the Four Walls album, as a Rock, Paper, Scissors was in multiple genres, or did it tend to stay more in one central lane?
Oh, yes. However, I do feel like this happens a lot with you guys as you're talking through your monthly reviews, that you are severely taken by either the first thing you listen to for the month or the very last thing you listen to for the month. And that's what sticks, which is cool because I can finally join that, because that's the case for me here. Is the last of the albums that I had on my list is what ended up shining above and beyond everything else. Released back all the way back in the beginning of November. The fourth studio album from an artist that has made it her mission to incorporate a new genre and new elements into her work with every record. On her debut, it was flamenco. For her third album, it was blending reggaeton with elements like jazz and, oddly enough, industrial, which works way better than you'd think. But for her fourth, she decided to bring opera back to the mainstream, and in doing so, crafted the best album of the year, Lux from Rosalia. Like, there's no other way to describe this record. Like, you have to start at gorgeous and then add from there. It's an amazing blend of, to continue that conversation, modern pop and classical music, opera, symphonics, but also things in there like the previously mentioned flamenco and reggaeton and Latin pop and a ton more. It's a giant aria of an album, which is a bit of an oxymoron, I know, with an insane amount of credits that tells you like the depth and breadth of what went into this record. Because sharing time on the credits list are Charlotte Gainsbourg, Bjork, the Escolania de Montserrat, a Catalonian boys choir, a couple of other choirs, Lunch Money Lewis, Noah Goldstein, Ryan frickin' Tedder, the London Symphony Orchestra, and Pharrell. And her vocals are absolutely angelic, not to mention that she sings in 14 different languages. And that's all of that to consider without even digging into the lyrical depths of those 14 languages. But I mean, it's a pop album, unlike anything else you're going to hear this year. and well worth your time. And even if it does feel like a heavy listen, like I said, it's well worth the effort for the best record of 2025.
If I can step in here real quick, because I do want to talk real quickly about two misses from our friends over at Dick Shorts. The first one was this sentence from the number one album of the year for their publication, which was the self-titled From Los Thutanaka. The sentence was a quote, "It's a beautiful practice to let your opinions sit on the shelf like jarred homunculi while struggling to describe how exactly music makes you feel." Those were words, I guess. Some of them were. Not great, though. The second miss was that Lux was number 16 on their list and not number 1, where Dan and I had it, and where it goddamn well belongs. It is as much of an album as it is just a piece of art. And that's not denigrating any other artist, because it is all art, no matter who it is or what it is. But this is like, you could, put this on a canvas and hang it in the Louvre and it would not miss a beat. As well as everything else that Dan said that was way more eloquent than anything that I had written down. It was, his description was very befitting of how beautiful this album was.
Yeah, obviously I have no argument to it. It's a beautiful record. It is not my number one, but I do understand why it's there, right? And it should be no surprise to anyone that my particular favorite track on the record is the one with Bjork.
It's absolutely fun to go back and relook at track by track and go, okay, who was on this one? Oh, hey, that explains what that sound.
Yeah.
I will say that I've seen that album. I've seen Lux as the number one or in the mix for number one in a great many publications. There was one other album that I also saw getting similar love, and Jay, I am very curious if that's your top album of the year or not. So lay it on us.
Well, so my top album of the year, I have to go back to May, and it's not the one that you think I'm going to say, probably.
Okay.
So, you know what? I'm just going to launch into it. I'm going to ignore what I wrote here. So King Mala, and You Who Drowned in the Grief of a Golden Thing. Dude, it is this moment when an artist's ambition and identity and execution all collide in this perfect form. It's not chasing trends or nostalgia. It's creating its own gravity. So King Mala, or Ariel, that's her name. She trusts that you're going to sit with her discomfort. You're going to sit with the beauty and the contradiction. And it's what takes it from great release to sort of defining experience. What makes it my album of the year is that it commits to the vision. So the influences of brutalist architecture, horror cinema, death mythology, they're not aesthetic window dressing. It's structural. It's a part of the experience. You can hear it in the negative space, the weight of the production, and the way the songs kind of loom instead of resolving. Every synth stab, every warped harmony, every moment of silence feels intentional, like a room that's designed to make you feel small in the best way. Vocally, she does something extraordinary. Never asking for sympathy, her voice moves between seduction, menace, grief, and control without softening itself. And that refusal to dilute really, really builds this unflinching, confrontational, but never chaotic thing. The control is the point. And then there's this, I think the thing that put it over the edge for me was the album as album factor. This year really felt like a year full of playlists that were put together as like a collection of songs. Yeah. And You Who Drowned is more of, it demands one full listen. Like it's one album. The tracks don't follow each other. They interlock. They linger. It sticks with you, and it makes it really easy to replay it. Which for me is the hallmark of something that's deserving of an album of the year title.
You touch on a great point that in today's streaming landscape, we've certainly talked about this ad nauseum, so I won't go too much into depth, but yeah, it's these albums are written and compiled in such a way that they maximize the profits for the artist, which it's hard to hate on that, but at the same time, it does reduce the impact of an album. You put it so well, album as album. Like that's such a concept that just doesn't exist as much in the current landscape. And it's really, really cool when someone says, yes, this is one continuous work. This is a piece to be consumed wholly and not, piecemeal.
Yeah.
And it really does suck that you're sort of at this point in the market de-emphasized on pushed away from doing the album as a single piece of art because of how it's received via streaming services and the playlist driven algorithms that keep getting music into everyone's ears like that. So to see somebody stick with that concept again, stick with the album itself as an entire piece of work and not just, like you said, a collection of songs or a collection of things that sort of go together, like it's meant to be listened to from the front to the back
and around again.
Yeah, it's just like with you and Lux. This was one that still did not listen to, and I always regret the ones that, whether it's your albums, Jay or Dan, your charting singles, like the ones that I don't listen to that you really love. Like it's always kind of that thing in the back of my mind, like, oh, you missed it. I mean, it's there. I can always come back to it, but it's more of a time and place thing, I guess. But yeah, it will not be missed for long.
It's kind of why I wholly enjoy just being able to sit and listen when you guys do album reviews, because every month I get to experience musical FOMO and then go back and try to resolve that just by writing down your lists of albums.
Word. I
suspect we're going to see something similar with the next category that we have, which is the best song of the year. It is the song, full stop. There's no qualification for production or engineering, although that very well could and probably will play into a lot of it for all of us. So, Dax, we'll start with you again. What was your song of the year for 2025?
So my song of the year was Raw by Anotehr. So he did this amazing spin on like 80s hip hop and modernized it with like its own lyrics. So like it had modern lyrics with 80s, maybe 90s hip hop. And it like really related to me, honestly, because of some of the things that were said. Like he talks about being in school, struggling in school. And it made me feel very happy to hear that someone else that is very, very successful at the moment, in almost in the same spot as I am currently with school. So it was very, very uplifting. It was a very great track. And it was very short, too. So it was very well set in a very short period of time. It was 2 minutes long. So not a very long hip-hop song.
Very nice. Yeah, I will readily admit that I was taking a listen to that as you were talking. And I know that this particular artist is kind of looked at derisively for a number of reasons, but the flow very much reminds me of B.O.B. Yeah. But I say that as a compliment, as the the good parts of B.O.B. I guess kind of distilled down. Yeah, it's a good flow. I think it's a song that should be as short as it is. I feel like some tracks, especially in hip hop, like tend to outstay their welcome a little bit. So it's cool to see. It's like, here it is. This is my message. This is the whole thing. 2 minutes in and out, we're done. Like I think it takes a lot of confidence to say I'm going to put a track out and have it be that short. And it sounds like Anotehr has that level of confidence, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's another one. Like that whole that was on an EP, right? It wasn't a full album.
I'm pretty sure it was released initially as a single and then put into an album.
Okay.
Later on, but I actually have no idea.
Yeah,
that's just a guess.
Because I remember like that song, and there was another one that was like right next to it on something that I really enjoyed. Yeah, that's cool. He's got some flow.
Yes, he does.
For sure.
He's one of my favorites.
Jay, let's mix it up a little bit and go to you for your song of the year. Are we staying in the hip hop sphere, or are we going elsewhere?
No, we're going elsewhere. We're going back to that concept of no set genre.
Ooh.
For my song of the year. However, in a something of a twist from something that comes out of my mouth, it is a song that's been on the charts. so there's that.
Nice.
Yeah. But it won't surprise. Say again?
I said that's weird, but it's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. It will come as no surprise to anyone because my top song of the year is Caramel by Sleep Token.
Okay, fair enough. Beautiful song.
Yeah, and for me, it tops the conversation because it does something that a lot of songs don't even attempt to do, and in a number of ways does something a lot of songs don't attempt. So Vessel interrogates fame from inside. He doesn't turn it into a pity party. He doesn't turn it into a victory lap. Lyrically, it's sharp and it's self-aware, and it wrestles with what happens when your identity gets flattened into a product and your art becomes something people feel entitled to consume. There's no melodrama, no cliche. He's not talking about selling out or being misunderstood. It's just he creates this balance in the song, and it's other songs with similar intent don't quite pull that off. It either comes out self-aggrandizing or weepy, whiny. And like the majority of Sleep Token's catalog, Caramel feels almost allergic to the genre in the best possible way. Blends pop, rock, metal into this cathartic monster. The fact that this was able to break into mainstream in a time when it's hard for even the stalwarts of rock to chart, like you talk about Foo Fighters or Pearl Jam or whatever, and that means people are clamoring for something different, something new, and Caramel represents that, for me at least. So that's why I've given it my Song of the Year title.
I think the thing that fascinates me most about Caramel, and really a lot of, more than just Caramel, on even in Arcadia, like these songs were not only accessible, but they were so popular in the mainstream to a degree that even as popular as Sleep Token was going into this album, like did not expect any of these tracks to hit as they did on the, because Caramel was Caramel number one, I think, at one point on the Hot 100. I think if it wasn't number one, it might have been in the top 10.
And I only know that it made top 40. I didn't really pay attention beyond that.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to check that. I might be totally off base there, but
Dan probably has that in his notes from back in April or May.
Yeah.
It peaked in the Hot 100 at number 34.
34, which is still number 34 for a Sleep Token track. It's wild.
A song that contains elements of black metal, that's unheard of.
Yes. We were so, I think, just folks that really vibed with that, with Sleep Token as a whole, were like, what took y'all so long,
Right. It's not my favorite Sleep Token song by a wide margin.
For sure.
However, I think it exemplified what people are looking for in that difference in music, right? Like we things feel a little stagnant, and they represented something new.
Yeah, it was a year of that. I think that there will be more to discuss there in the, at least for me, in the new artists category, in that exact, the something new sort of vibe. But I'll go ahead real quick and dip a toe in for mine, because it is a track and an artist that I think I've talked about probably way too much over the last year, probably over the last 18 months or so. And to me, it was the confluence of what goes into the song compositionally, the songwriting aces, the lyrics, perfect, beautiful, accessible, very much one of those, like, so many folks have been there and can relate sort of situations. The vocals, emotive, where they need to be, powerful where they need to be, the production, amazing, just exactly what the song needs. The duo of Dan Nigro and Chappell Rowan needs to be a thing for the next 2,000 years, because that chemistry that they both offer has been great on so many tracks, and on the Subway it is no exception. It is the perfect breakup song, if ever there was such a thing to be said, and it was absolutely my top song of the year in 2025.
No argument, man. Like, I think you said it exactly how I would look at it. Is like, I don't know how you make a better breakup song, and there's a lot of good ones out there. Absolutely, they found the way to put everything into it that you'd want to be able to actually get out all the complex emotions of ending a relationship.
For sure. Yeah, the duality of she's got away versus she got away. Oh, just stabs me in the chest every time. It's so good.
Yeah, and truthfully, I mean, Chappell Rowan can do no wrong at the moment.
Facts.
Truth. True fact. And she keeps finding, like I said, then you go to things like The Giver and you're like, oh, you just keep finding new places to do tremendous things with. And okay, fair enough.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Talk about someone who just has so many different styles. And I'm sure there's, stuff that we just haven't even heard yet that's in the studio, today. So
Oh, yeah.
Super excited. Dan, well, we'll end the songs with you, man. What would you say for your tops of 25?
So I'm glad that we're not necessarily in lockstep, because I also have this feeling that I'm gonna, this is, by the way, the one I was most prepared for. But I feel like I'm gonna declare the best hit song of 2025, because that's kind of where my bread and butter sits. And then I'm gonna be accused of picking the most obvious and or the easiest to talk about, which maybe, sure. But when all those coincide, what do you want me to do? The song of 2025 actually released at the end of November 2024 and would then rocket up the Hot 100, debut at number 3, and eventually hit the top spot where it would dominate for 13 straight weeks, becoming the second longest hip-hop song to sit at number 1, behind only Old Town Road. But before it was done, it would hit the top 10 in 27 countries, and then become part of the biggest cultural moment of the year when it was heard during the Super Bowl halftime show on February 9th. Gentlemen, the song of the year is Luther from Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Of course, Grammy voters should continue to throw all the trophies at Mr. Lamar like they did last year for Not Like Us. So much has been said about Luther throughout the year, and it's tough to kind of summarize all the points that need to be made about the song. But in brief, it is the continuation of one of the most impressive collaborations in music at the moment. These two, though, just seem to, as performers, click so well whenever they work together. And Luther is the perfect 180 from the aforementioned Not Like Us. Like a momentary shift in the intense and boastful and impactful tone of the rest of the record. Going from banger to ballad, Lamar and SZA wind their way through this like journey. Voices intertwining and harmonizing. And much like that of the opening sample, which is Luther Vandross from his duet with Cheryl Lynn, If This World Were Mine. And for more on that sample and the weight it gives the song, may I recommend a great piece from back in April on NPR's Fresh Air, a link to which will be in an article, an article up on fairlykickass.com, where I'll not only be talking about Luther, but a full re-ranked top 25 hit songs of the year, which should be up when you hear this. He says, hoping that he actually finishes the piece before that. But back to the here and now, and because it's KDOT, there are so many themes and thoughts packed into this like 3-minute masterpiece. Wow, I just stopped being able to speak. Cool. Good timing. It's not a simple love song. It's a track that goes far beyond just an I love you message, pulling in empowerment and support and protection and imagining and wanting to build a better future for a loved one. And the world caught that vibe, making it one of the best performing songs of the year, and the honestly not so clear pick as my song of the year. Now that I think about it, for a little preview, it was 1 point ahead of Caramel, which is number 2 on the list.
Nice.
But if you want more about that internal battle, you will have to head over to fairlykickass.com.
Love it.
Like I said, I was actually prepared for this.
Yep.
Again, sort of my wheelhouse, if you will.
Oh, I will.
What a stint. I mean, I hate to call it a stint because Kendrick has been around and SZA has too, for all intents and purposes. They both have been putting out great music for much before November of 2024. But like, good Lord, this track hit like a pile of bricks and it did not relent on the charts.
No, that's the thing.
For good reason.
And everything else off of GNX like popped and then kind of died away, because I mean Squabble Up was up there for me as well, but like it just had that staying power. It was impressive, and then again just dominated for so long when nothing was coming in. Not necessarily that nothing was coming out in the beginning of the year, but nothing was strong enough to knock it from the top of the chart. Yeah, because you mentioned Squabble Up. TV Off still gets talked about because of that part that we all know and love.
Luther was not supposed to be the one.
No,
It was
no.
not, but I'm so glad it was. It's such a great song.
Also in that redone top 25 plus one is Squabble Up and TV Off. And then another one from the two of them in 30 for 30.
30 for 30. That was on SZA's album, right?
That was on
wasn't
SZA's album.
okay.
Yeah.
They can't miss.
No, that's the point. They're just ball don't lie for either of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's I'm here for all of it. True, and again, we're gonna say this repeatedly. Like, it's not my favorite song on the record, but it definitely. I mean, it's a great song, and it certainly had the lasting impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I like it. That's a good pick.
I do also very much appreciate the name of the song because I feel like there's a good part of it that pays homage to one of the best in his own right at the the R&B ballad being the great Luther Vandross. That
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
he gets his flowers in 2025. It just fills my heart. It's so good.
Indeed.
Let's keep the train rolling to the next category. Let's go with best artist. We'll save the best new artist for last. That feels right. But let's go with the best artist overall of 2025. And Dax, we will start with you again. Who was it to you? Was it a single artist? Was it a group, a band? What'd you think?
It is my personal favorite of all time. This is not just for this year, but it is in the category of this year. But overall, my favorite artist of all time, and he's dropped 2 albums this year.
Oh my God.
He goes by the name of Gunner, and he is a glitch pop artist. He does very amazing glitch work. He is the only glitch artist that I can listen to on loop because some of them can get really annoying.
Yeah.
He uses like very, very happy, upbeat beats that he makes himself. He uses the happy and uplifting with sad and very melodic words. And it is just the perfect blend of music. He is by far my favorite artist of all time. And there's just no words to explain all of the things that he can do. He's very talented. And I wish I could be more like him.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Not gonna lie, when you said your favorite artist of all time, I thought you were going with something from Juice WRLD.
I did too.
Juice WRLD is definitely a great artist, but Gunner takes the cake. Gunner takes the cake.
Right on.
And I mean, just in terms of volume, like putting out one album is a lot for any artist. With Gunner putting out 2 is just tremendous. And both fairly decent size albums. Like we're not talking EPs here. I mean, I think both had 11 tracks. It was Silken Shadows from May and then Decibel from November. Yeah, that's not easy. No matter, what the genre is, what the type of music is, like that's extremely impressive.
Indeed.
Oh, apologies. There's actually a third one too, a Web that came out in January of this year.
Yeah, that was at the very beginning of the year. Wow.
3.
My favorite artist, and I don't even know how many albums they dropped.
It's like the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard conundrum, right? Like
Right.
it's hard to keep up with all of it when there's so much, but it's a good problem to have too.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's a good problem to have when you like it.
And it's a
For
great. They're all great. They're all great. They are all amazing.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think Jay, you had mentioned Gunner before to me, and I did not get a chance to get around to listening to much of it. I think I listened to like 1 or 2 tracks, and I liked what I heard, but I need to go back to more of it. Yeah,
it's definitely it's a niche genre. Like if you don't like it, you're not gonna like it. Like
sure.
There's it, but I think you in particular will.
I feel like I would, yeah.
Probably anyway. I know your reaction to Pixelated Kisses might throw me a little bit because you didn't care for that one, if I recall, or you didn't understand it.
Yeah, that one in particular was for me did not land, but it didn't turn me off either.
And that's probably in the pop, that's probably the closest related to like the glitch pop stuff that Gunner does. That's probably the closest example that's gone mainstream is Joe G stuff.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
For sure. Very nice. Well, Jay, we'll kick it back over to you for your artist. Was it Gunner? Was that also your artist of the year, or was it
No,
someone in
but,
the
but here's what we're going to have a lot of similarities in the conversation we just had. Because, for me, this category was a toss-up. I had trouble. So there were two different artists this year for me that each dropped 2 albums that deeply impacted my listening habits throughout the year. So the first is FKA Twigs, Eusexua and Eusexua Afterglow. Phenomenal records. Absolutely adore them. And, again, one at the beginning of the year, one at the end of the year. Beautiful albums. The second is Jane Remover, who, with some difficulty, is going to get the nod from me for this category. At the end of the day, it came down to the genre variants that we've been talking about so much. So Jane effortlessly shifts gears, starting with their alter ego Venturing back in February, and the album Ghost Holding, which is a shoegaze masterpiece if there ever was one. The songs No Sleep, Something Has to Change, and Believe have been in my head since the album was released in February. I absolutely love a good shoegaze record, and that and the Deftones record that were released this year were really about it for me. Then again in April, 2 months later, Jane Remover released Revenge Seekers under the name Jane Remover, which is a glitchy, hyperpop experimental record that largely falls under that digicore tag. The album's intense, it's purposeful, it's fun, but because both of those albums had such an impact on my listening and they're so very different, that's why I would give my award for Artist of the Year to Jane Remover.
I don't know why I forgot that Jane Remover had released 2 albums this year and not just one.
And actually, as I wrote this, I forgot that there was an EP that just dropped like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
As of this recording, which I listened to this morning and forgot to add to my write-up. And it's also awesome. So
I think one at your behest that was, hey, you've got to listen to them. They've got amazing sound, and I listened for once, and that was probably Revenge Seekers, I believe, and 100% could not disagree with anything you said. It's so unique. It's so interesting. It's not even just like, because things can be unique and then it's just like, okay, this is different, but it doesn't really grab me. But this was different and it also grabbed me.
Yeah. And I think just being a chameleon of genre and like being able to do something like a rock shoegaze record and then turn around and do something with Danny Brown, which was, I mean, that's a phenomenal track. So like, I don't know, Jane just captured me this year.
I don't think you're the only one. I think they had an impact on a great many people who did not see it coming.
Yeah.
Dan, same question to you. It's Artist of the Year.
I can make it relatively quick because Jay has already talked quite a bit about this artist and having the song of the year, and completely agree. And especially for a band to bring a unique vision of rock and metal and indie pop and emo and industrial and arena rock and even R&B and trap all together. Yeah, you could find that all in Sleep Token. So, like I said, even in Arcadia, one of my favorite records of the year, top of the list for me this year.
Yeah, and it was my number 2. So
we'll just trade in that side there.
Nice. Yeah. We've said it all. It's just, I think that, Sleep Token is not going anywhere. This is certainly not a flash in the pan by any stretch of the imagination. So I would suspect in the next couple of years, we will also be having the same discussion about Sleep Token potentially as the Artist of the Year in 2027, perhaps. Vessel, you got something cooking?
We can only hope. What do you got cooking?
I've got cooking, just like Dan had mentioned, Jay, that you had kind of already touched on his artist. Dan, you have already touched on my Artist of the Year. A different direction than you went, Jay, in terms of like, this artist did not put out 2 albums this year. In fact, this artist put out 0 albums this year. And the fact that this artist still remained to such a high level of prominence and such an impact throughout the musical world without putting out any new music. And well, I think maybe 30 for 30 came out that year or this year, but Kendrick Lamar had, to me, the best artist year, at least the best artist 12 months ever. You know, obviously the flawless victory against Drake came in 2024. GNX released either November or December of last year, but yet still found a way to hit number one on the Billboard 200 in February and then again in March. So the album proving that it had staying power far and beyond just its release last year. Luther, as Dan mentioned so wonderfully, very deserving of its number one spot on the list of Barack Obama's favorite tracks of the year. So that's a pretty prestigious and again well-deserved accomplishment in and of itself. Am I missing anything? I think I covered it all, right?
I think you got that.
Oh, the Super Bowl. That was the thing that I missed. One of the best Super Bowl halftime shows that I've ever seen. We've talked about it. We had a whole episode. Go listen to it. Go back in our catalog. I think we really covered a lot of ground on it. It's up there. It's top 5. It might be top 3. It was tremendous. And, you had the featured artists. You had all this surprise cameos. You had Samuel L. Jackson for reasons, but you had Kendrick as the crown jewel of the whole thing, where he belongs. And yeah, it was an absolutely tremendous work from an artist who just has killed it the whole year and for, the last half of 2024 as well.
And then also, I feel like you got to hand it to him to, respect the little bit of a break that he's taken from being in the media, in the face of the media for, the latter half of 2025 and still staying in the conversation, right? We haven't seen him plastered on every billboard and every TV show and interview, but the songs are still relevant. And Luther especially has been still in the top whatever for forever. It may be there forever in all eternity, and I guess I don't care. That's fine, at least until he drops something else.
Yeah. And just to quick follow up your point about that list of songs of the year from Barack Obama, obviously having Luther in there, as you mentioned, but also one of the tracks from Rosalia off of Lux and Chapel Roan and Jason Isbell.
Man.
And unfortunately, Alex Warren and Drake, but still.
How did Alex Warren? Why do people like him? I don't get it.
Man, that ordinary. If we had, I didn't think about looking up the worst song of the year, but it can't be that far off for me. I don't know how to find my Excel.
Please don't make me do that.
No.
It's so easy though.
Would it?
Right. Yes, I could easily right off of the dome right now.
Well, give us a taster. Give us one. Give us one of the worst songs of the year.
The worst song of the year? Okay. Make fun of me. I don't know. I was lying. I was bluffing.
Oh, we've all done it on this show.
Way too many times.
Mm-hmm.
An ad in from this year, did I did. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. All right. Apparently I have a tie at the bottom.
Oh.
And it either the Aaron Lewis Award for 2025 either goes to Jack Harlow for Hello, Miss Johnson for putting quite possibly the worst verses put to paper over a beat that's actually really good. It couldn't be saved.
I forgot about that. It's so bad.
Or and it seems too easy, but it's there. Oh God, there's 3 of them. I didn't see that. There's a 3-way tie. So you could give it to Morgan Wallen for Skoll, Chevy, and Browning.
Of course.
To being the most country while at the same time the most Morgan Wallen, which is also the blandest thing put to a record.
Yep.
Or the worst resampling and remaking of a pop song of the year, which would go to Pitbull and Bon Jovi for Now or Never. Any one of those 3 are more than deserving of the Lewis. So honestly, just kind of pick your least favorite of the 3, and that can be your Aaron Lewis Award
Oh
winner
God,
of the year.
I hate them all so much. It's so hard to choose.
just want to choose right.
I know, right?
See, couldn't you just pick all of them and put them into one? Like that's just one, right? They're all one.
I think if you were to mix those three songs together, like that would like summon. So wouldn't that summon demons?
I was gonna say it either summons something, which we'll get into that here in just a second, but I think it makes the liquid that Christopher Lloyd made that kills the cartoons.
Oh, like you could produce a barrel of dip with it.
Yeah.
It's either that or a David Guetta set, one of the two.
It creates a David Guetta set.
Help us all. Help us all. Oh my God.
I didn't mean to derail everything. I really didn't. It was just
You
a
didn't,
thing like you mentioned.
I'm gonna use that to segue into our best new artist category.
Hell yeah.
Because what happens if we do mix all three of those songs and it summons something? You know, it summons something from beyond the other side, from the void. It creeps out and tries to burrow its way into our minds and, you know, through our ears. You know who we would need?
Who would we need?
Well, we would need some K-pop demon hunters to fight off whatever fetid being came across that wall. And so we would need Huntrix, which is my nominee for Best New Artist, which I know is weird, and it could be a controversial thing for me to say that. But so here's the thing. Culturally, Huntrix, the rise is historic, right? Like it's not just sales and streams, but presence. That breakout single, Golden, it didn't just chart. It made history. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 for multiple weeks. And it became one of the most streamed songs of the year globally. It also marks the first time since Destiny's Child that a girl group has led the Hot 100 for such a long run, despite the fact that they're animated. The music has sort of become the soundtrack for the year, right? It shows up everywhere from streaming playlists to TikTok trends, award nominations, and the awesome blend of Korean and English lyrics alongside that slick performance energy, not to mention their interview presence IRL. Honestly, like I love handing this award to Huntrix as the best new artist of the year. I think I kind of want to expect more from them musically outside of being tied to a film.
I think that's the most interesting part about this is to see whether or not this was a group that came together for this project or if they're going to do more. Like, I don't know if they're going to do a sequel, but like you said, will they put something out not attached to a Netflix movie? Either way, I want more. Yeah. I want to see them do more.
Yeah, very much so.
The one thing I wonder is like you said, for things that are not associated with the movie, you know, for any future work, like is Huntrix obviously Huntrix is associated with the movie, but is that going to continue to be associated with the group? I wonder, because I would hate for them to, you know, put out more music and for folks to not realize that this is the same group that gave us so many bangers from the movie.
I think the name is solidly a part of the cultural psyche at the moment, so I don't think that's likely that it gets overlooked. Like, I think they stick around. I think they still call themselves Huntrix. I think it's still like, you know, the Monkees never changed their name.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, it's firmly in the zeitgeist, and for good reason, because it's part of a great movie, but it also, in a vacuum, they sound so good. They don't need the movie.
And that's the thing, like you said, their work is great, even to listen to for someone who is rated it high, but has never then seen the movie. And I don't know if I will, but given by the album, I don't have to. That's just amazing stuff there.
Yeah, it's again, just like this whole year has been, it's not one that that any of us expected to be talking about a fictional group from a Netflix anime movie.
Right.
But here we are. Also, no one's talking about the Saja Boys, so, you know, take that as it comes.
Truth.
Take that as it comes. Dan, I'm guessing we're going to be talking about your best new artist for some time as well.
Possibly. But I will say that I have such a hard time with this category to begin with, especially like we're basing this off the idea of the Grammys doing the best new artist. And it's a tough one because you either find something obscure who haven't really caught in a lot of circles because they're literally brand new. So you're doing artists who are just making their ways now, or like most of the Grammy nominations are on their like fifth or sixth album and they're just now getting big enough that labels have picked them up. But I also didn't know where to start, so I just started with the list of Grammy noms. Several strong contenders there, but I'll go with Lola Young for someone whose sound just caught fire this year. Messy Everywhere, or Messy Was Everywhere. That was the song. It went number one everywhere but here, really. And there's so much potential in that sound that you can see her writing in multiple styles and genres, and then also working with a wide swath of artists. Like the opportunities there, like you said, for someone to really break out and continue to do great things. So yeah, great start, and hopefully more to come.
I can't claim to have listened to her yet.
I need to.
Yeah, I need to as well. I know I've seen Lola on the nominees list.
Yeah.
But so obviously that right there says that there's at least some prominence of being a new artist, and being a new artist that is worth checking out and worth looking into and worth listening to.
Yeah.
I do appreciate Lola, kind of in the same vein. I don't know if it was as explicit as Kendrick did, as you mentioned, Jay, but mentioning, like, putting out an Instagram post just yesterday about being thankful for folks who were able to provide the time and space to be able to do her thing. And to know that, like, with all this popularity, especially with the new artists, that has to be so challenging to have everyone's eyeballs on you. Chapel Roan talked about this at length, and is still talking about this at length.
Yeah.
And it seems like Lola is kind of establishing those boundaries early and often, which is very impressive, very respectable. And I'm stoked and hopeful that this is good for her as a person and helps her to make more great music in the way that she wants to in the future. So very, very cool. Another one that I'm adding to my mental list of, like, why didn't you listen to this before now, bonehead?
Right.
I'm adding it to a literal list.
That's the smart thing to do. If I was you, if I was smart like you, I would have done that and not just expected this brain head of mine to do anything worthwhile.
No, brain don't work good. Must write down.
Must write down. Must write.
I can't operate without a to-do list every day.
Well, I will go ahead with mine real quick. We'll leave the final honors of the year to Dax, but before we get there, I will mention an artist that was almost felt destined to have this ascent, whether it was going to be this year or next year or the year after. Like, it was absolutely going to happen. Far too talented of an artist for it not to. You mentioned Messy as the Lola Young track, Dan. There's corollary with my best new artist of the year with her 2023 album, also titled Messy. The 2025 iteration, her second studio album being The Art of Loving, an absolutely gorgeous journey through R&B tinged pop or pop tinged R&B, depending on which track you're listening to, with elements of jazz, with elements of neo soul, and all of it dotted by just one of the coolest voices, one of the best voices, but one of the coolest voices that I've heard from any artist all year long, and that is Olivia Dean. Another nominee for Best New Artist for the Grammys as well. She would have made this slot for me even if she wasn't nominated. She is absolutely one of those artists that has a style that is not going to fit into the motifs of other popular music that you would hear throughout the year by any stretch. And I think that is, as we've talked about, has kind of been the unexpected theme of this whole episode. Like, that's really cool. That gets kind of high marks right off the bat. But it's more than just unique. It just sounds great. It sounds flowing. It sounds elegant. Yeah, I am stoked to see if she does win the Best New Artist Grammy. I know that she was nominated for a couple of Mercury Prizes as well, which is a very awesome honor in and of itself. And the sky's the limit. I'm certain we will be hearing more from Olivia Dean in the years to come.
I will hear something from her in the weeks to come because I have not heard her yet.
I think you will dig it a lot. I really do.
Wrote it down.
Nice.
Trying to remember. I'm trying to pull that up real quick so I'm not lying when I say this, but I'm very familiar as I believe. It helps if you get the right year more on. Yes. She had the top single of November for me, and So Easy to Fall in Love. So completely agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, that one with elements of it being a bossa nova. Like,
Yes.
what are you even doing? Like, that's not supposed to work. And yet, it worked perfectly. That was a cool song. Man, I Need was another big single. That was a cool song too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll end it with Dax. Hit us with your best new artist, the one that we're going to be talking about in the upcoming years.
Okay, so this guy started as a cover artist back in 2021 and did not start making his own music until this year, the beginning of this year. So he's been doing cover for a very long time, at least in my opinion, a very long time. And I didn't even get way to him till about last month. So that just says that if I can say that he is the best new artist in 1 month of listening to him, that says quite a bit. So my artist, like the best new artist, is Grave with a 3 at the end. I don't know why people are very obsessed with putting numbers in their name. It happens. Mm-hmm. But I think his song 5 O'Clock spoke to me the most. It had the most creative harmonies that I've heard in a song in a very long time. He has words that are very hard to understand, yet I feel the emotion from them, which I feel also stands as a statement on its own. So he takes the cake for the best new artist because, well, he's just that awesome. No other reasons.
That's another one I haven't heard. I don't know that one.
Oh, you've heard him. Okay. You just don't remember.
Another one that I was listening to in the background as you were talking about him. Yeah, I like the kind of auto tune, at least the track 5 O'Clock that you mentioned, like the auto tune as artistic and not auto tune as like voice correction is always something that I dig when done well. It seems like it's done very well in that track. Is that something that is a hallmark of his other tracks too, or is that just specific more to 5 O'Clock?
Yeah, so he like, especially on his covers, he puts his own like auto tune and harmonic spin on it. So he's very good at using the auto tune to help him with the harmonies. And I feel like it's such a way to perfect the harmonies that a lot of people can't do without auto tune. And I know auto tune's like it's bad. But for him, it works really, really well. So yeah, that is a pretty good hallmark for his other songs.
Very nice.
That's when you prefer to see it used, not because you have to have your vocals auto-tuned, but because it adds, or it can be used as an extra instrument along with your vocals.
Yeah, I mean, see also T-Pain, who has a beautiful voice and is an excellent vocalist and uses auto-tune artistically. I mean, that's one of the progenitors of the craft, but he certainly does not need it. He sounds great without it.
And does tremendous cover songs too.
Absolutely. And Twitch streams, weirdly enough, a fairly prominent Twitch streamer because the world makes sense.
And an amazing gamer, by the way.
He is indeed. Became a weird T-Pain appreciation episode, but I'm here for it. You know who else we appreciate, guys? We appreciate the listeners. We appreciate anyone who's turned on an episode of this podcast for 5 minutes, anyone who's listened to multiple episodes. We still need to ask the question of why would you put yourself through that? Why would you tell your friends and loved ones that we are a thing? Why would you send them to @FairlyKickAss on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok? Why would you send them to fairlykickass.com? Why would you have them email us at fairlykickass@gmail.com? And why would you tell them that they can find the Fairly Kick-Ass podcast anywhere where they get their podcasts? It's such a bad idea.
It boggles the mind. It baffles the soul.
My soul is
quite baffled. I couldn't come up with the third one, damn
it. Oh God, that's That's absolutely going to kill me.
And what better way to end the year than on canned laughter, really?
It feels right. It feels right. From the bottoms of our hearts, thank you all so much for listening all year as you have, and we'll catch you next year. Oh, I was waiting for the laughter again.
Oh.
No notes. Perfection.